Right. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining and giving me your time during everyone's busy days. I'd like to get started. So, right. Namaste, everyone. Today, we'll be talking about enhancing business with conversational AI. Right. So just a quick introduction before we get started. My name is Aaron Christopher D'Souza, and I'm an account director here at BC WebWise. Coming to BC WebWise, so BC WebWise was founded back in 2000, and we've been in the digital space for over 20 years. And we have worked with multiple clients across multiple different industries, most notably Sunsilk, Hero MotoCorp, as well as HDFC, right? So we at BC WebWise, we are 150 plus teams across multiple locations in India. We are headquartered out of Mumbai, and we have offices in Delhi, Bangalore, as well as Kolkata. And of course, we are an independent homegrown agencies and one of the biggest in India. Coming to our solution, so of course, we offer holistic solutions across digital, ATL, as well as BTL. Starting from the strategic point of view, we look at a 360-degree strategy that we can deploy across multiple mediums. And we bring platform expertise right from web development to performance marketing, which includes your Google and Facebook, right? So starting off with the topic, so conversational AI. So right from the basics, the first question would be, what is conversational AI? Right? So the definition of conversational AI is the use of artificial intelligence technologies to enable natural and interactive conversations between computers and humans, right? So one of the first questions one would ask is, how is conversational AI different from what tools are already available in the market, right? So we have chatbots, and a lot of us would have interacted with such chatbots. Most notably, we can think of Swiggy, Zomato, or even Amazon, Flipkart, right? When we're trying to maybe get a refund or check for problems with a specific product, right? So one of the main issues we face here, right, or where the current technology lacks, is there is a set flow in terms of the conversation you can have with these bots, right? There are probably pop-ups which you can click on and the conversation carries on. But as and when it gets to a point, you are transferred to a human interaction, right? You're transferred to a human chat support. So this is where conversational AI comes in, and it's able to handle these complex and not only carry the conversation forward, also provide solutions to the questions that a user has. So what are the key components of conversational AI? Starting with the very first, which is your natural language processing. So in simple terms, what this means is the ability of the tool to able to understand a human-like conversation, right? So the conversation you have with the human is very natural, but something, an AI tool is able to understand that specific conversation and able to understand the context and convert it, right? So that is when natural language processing comes in. Machine learning. So machine learning is basically the ability of the tool to learn and understand from its past conversations and better improve the output over a course of time, right? So that is the basic definition of machine learning. Third comes your knowledge base. So knowledge base is basically the data that we feed into the system, which the AI tool will learn and will able to give solutions or recommendations based on the data we feed it, right? So we'll obviously get into the details of each one of these as we progress, but this is just at a top level, what are the key components? Just to add, in case you all have any questions, do drop it in the chat box as and when you want to, as well as we'll be sharing a form link where you can probably mention your questions and we can get back to you. And of course, we'll have a Q&A session at the end, so feel free to drop your questions. Right. So after knowledge base, we have intent recognition. So to simplify what intent recognition is, an AI tool is a conversational AI tool is able to understand the intent of a user. So it could be a purchase intent, or it could be maybe an informational intent, right? So the tool is able to understand, depict, and give specific responses based on the intent of the question being asked. Moving on to dialogue management. So dialogue management is basically able to understand the context of the entire conversation that's been happening, right? So the limitation of the current tools, it's not able to kind of pick up the questions asked before and understand the entire context of the conversation and carry on the flow of it, right? It just goes based on the flow that we feed it. So conversational AI is able to understand context and carry on the conversation and provide solutions based on the entire conversation history. And last, of course, text to speech. So this is basically, as the name suggests, right? It's able to convert text to speech as well as give responses in a similar manner. Right. So what are the applications, right? Based on the key components, where exactly can conversational AI fit into your current business? So the most notable and of course the easiest way that you can start implementing it is of course through chat support, which we currently have, and all users are familiar with conversing with chat support, right? Second would be appointments. So a lot of businesses do look at not only virtual appointments, but even walk-in appointments, right? So chat support can help guide users into making these appointments and make it a lot more easier and more friendly to make these appointments happen. Third, of course, is your lead generation, which is the core of many businesses out there. It's able to help generate leads in a more organic manner. Fourth is suggestions, right? So when I say suggestions, I could give you an example, right? So for instance, while booking travel, one of the things that I always look at is the time of departure and the time of arrival, right? Specifically when it comes to return. So with these conversational AI tools, for instance, I'm able to ask the tool, I want to fly from, say, Mumbai to Bangalore and leave at 3 a.m. And while returning, I want to reach by 5 p.m., right? So instead of the current system put in place is as simple as, you adding these filters manually, but just imagine how you can probably just type in an entire sentence of what your journey is and get suggestions based on that question, right? Next is your customer feedback. So customer feedback, of course, we have the current system of, rate us in 5 stars and all of that stuff. But a conversational AI tool is able to understand these customer feedback a lot better rather than just going with a star rating, right? So a simple thing, right? Currently in ORM, we do a sentiment analysis of certain reviews and ratings that we have on our current applications. So a conversational AI tool is able to understand all these sentiments and give you like a holistic picture of what your customer feedback is a lot more easier than what we're currently doing. A lot of smaller businesses manually do the sentiment analysis, whereas others, there are tools available in the market, but a conversational AI tool is able to do this a lot more easier and more efficiently. Right. Coming to inquiries, this kind of probably fits in maybe in the B2B space. Where the sales process is a lot longer, right? It can take months. So an initial interaction between a B2B customer will generally be to understand understand the, say a tool or a solutions, what are the solutions of the specific tool that it provides. And in the beginning, say, if you just land on a B2B website, probably you're hesitant to give your phone number, right? Or a contact information. You're just looking around or digging through the information. So this is where conversational AI can fit in, right? When the user is able to ask such questions and get responses and have an understanding, plus you are able to understand the intent of the user early on in the funnel. Next is your interactive landing pages. So basically adding a conversational AI tool to your landing pages makes it a lot more interactive, right? And we do know in the current day and age how interactive and personalized landing pages play an impact on the conversion rate for users. And lastly, surveys. So surveys, of course, this can be done both external and internal, but it's a very, very useful way and a very fun way of basically getting these surveys done rather than just having like a Google form or the current set of surveys where you're just tick marking boxes. Right. Next. So the main question many of us will have, right, and many businesses have is, how does conversational AI have an impact on my business outcomes? And the two main I can think of is, how does this specific tool drive revenue for my company? And the second question could be, how does this specific tool help decrease my operational costs, right? So what we have done is basically we have looked at the current use cases and how this has impacted businesses in the current market, right? So starting off with the first case study, so of course we're looking at Mondelez. So this is basically Cadbury, right? So how did they utilize conversational AI to drive conversions and purchases for them? So what Cadbury did was they developed a Valentine's Day store, right? And this was specifically targeted for millennial users. So what they did is they created a store. They fed in the products that they currently had. Along with that, they added something known as Valentine's Day tips, right? So this is a way to engage with their current audience. And being that they were targeted at millennials, it is something that fit the TG as well. So what they did was they added their products and they were able to curate certain responses such as this, right? If you see over here, gifts below 400, or for instance, gifts below 1000 also for that matter, right? They were able to build this into their chat system along with add Valentine's Day tips where users could ask for tips, right? In terms of where do I take my Valentine out for a date, or what would be a good surprise, things like that. So the outcome of this specific chatbot was the increase in interest. So engaged users who inquired about products, it was 64%, right? So basically 64% of the chat users inquired about products. Coming to the conversions, almost 13% of users who were interested placed orders, which is a great conversion rate, as all of us know, right? And in terms of the engagement time, it was close to 3 minutes. So people were spending time talking to this chatbot and getting and making purchases, which is what businesses look at. So this is just one use case of how Mondelez used this specific chatbot only for a Valentine's Day promotion. And again, the TG was millennial, so which is why this fit in really well. Now, coming to the second part, which is how does conversational AI tools help in reducing operational costs? So this is a case study by MSU Federal Credit Union. So what they did was they developed a virtual agent, right? So we are all very familiar with the BFSI segment, specifically in the Indian market, right? We already have these virtual assistants available for HDFC, I believe, has EVA, and Kotak has their KR bot, which currently interact with users, right? So the current intelligence system in these, they're able to drive a conversation to a certain extent, but again at the end you have to end up talking to maybe a human chat support to maybe get to the end of the conversation. But what MSU Federal Credit Union did was when they developed this, they were able to get a 98% resolution rate from their queries, right? So this bot was able to solve 98% of the queries that came to it. It had a 620% increase in intent library. So what an intent library is, it's able to understand what the intent of the user is and pass them on, right? So not everyone that comes to the website or comes to the bot is looking to make a purchase or an account open or get a loan, right? They're probably inquiring. So by understanding what the inquiry was, it was able to build a database and then later follow up with them and convert them later on. And of course, it was able to hand over 2 lakh member conversations. And last, and the most important part, this single bot was able to handle the chat load of nearly 60 full-time employees, right? So this is where the operational efficiencies come into when you're looking at one of these virtual and conversational AI tools. Right. Now coming to the next part, right? So how do we build and deploy these conversational AI solutions into our current businesses? So I'll just go through an overview of what the current process is and then come to what are the issues and roadblocks that we might face. So coming to the overview, so starting off with data gathering, as I mentioned earlier, data is basically the key, right? The tool is basically the conversing mechanism, but data is the key to how these tools are able to converse with your users. So a great example would be the Mondelez case study that I mentioned, how they fed in not only the products, which was basically their conversion funnel, but also an interactive funnel, which is your tips for dating, right? Or tips for Valentine's Day. So whatever information you feed to this tool, it's able to converse better with your users. The next, and of course, the most important is selecting a tech stack, right? So the overview of the tech stack would be your natural language processor, your model selection, which for an example, it's ChatGPT, right? That could be your model, as well as integration with external systems. So your tech stack is key to how this is going to work, as well as integrate with your current flow of the business, right? So NLU, as I mentioned earlier, right, it's the ability to understand human language, and of course, this can vary to different languages as well. Your model selection and training, this is basically where your machine learning as well as context and intent recognition comes into play. And lastly, integration with external systems. So this is basically where your tool is able to integrate with your CRM. This is a very quick example, is it's able to integrate with your CRM and probably pass leads, take information from those leads and converse better with your user, so on and so forth. And of course, last but not the least, it's your UI design. So UI design is basically how you are going to interact with the user at the end stage. So that's also a key part of deploying this solution. Right. Now coming to the key challenges. So of course, while this sounds pretty great, one of the key problems we face is when we're trying to integrate these solutions into our existing business, and what are some of the things that we do face while trying to get these implemented. Right. Starting with data privacy and security. So data privacy has become one of the key issues that we have been facing in the last couple of years. As we all know, we're moving into a cookieless world, and with GDPR coming in, this is something that is key when trying to deploy these solutions, because we need to ensure that the data that we have and the user's interaction, that it is private and secured. Second is your context management, right? So it is key. The entire crux of conversational AI is to be able to maintain context, right, in an entire conversation. If you're not able to maintain context, there is no differentiation between the conversational AI tool and your traditional chatbots that are currently in the market. So it's the ability of the tool to retain information from the entire conversation and give better solutions. Moving on, multiple languages. So of course, being in India, there are, as you know, there are multiple languages that people do converse in. And not only that, people also converse, probably write in a different language, but the text is in English, right? So these are some of the issues that we face, right? Your traditional chatbots are not able to decipher some of these languages and text. Also, if there are spelling mistakes, right, in the text that is being typed, the current chatbot is limited in terms of how it's able to understand and interpret what is being said. So this is also one of the challenges that we face. Right. Next, moving to scalability, right? Scalability is the ability of this tool to handle multiple users at the same time. So when we deploy a solution like this, it is evident that it will cater to multiple users at the same time. So we need to ensure that the systems are in place to manage this kind of load and deliver at the same level for all these people simultaneously. And moving on to personalization. So as we all know, everybody in the marketing space knows the impact of personalization in engagement as well as conversion, right? The more personalized your messages or your ads are, or your conversations are with users, the better the outcome, right? In terms of follow-ups or even a product purchase. So personalization is key when it comes to these conversational AI tools. It needs to be able to understand what your needs are specifically to be able to drive better conversions out of you. And lastly, ethical considerations. So coming to ethical considerations, in simple terms, it's basically to ensure that there is no bias, right? So since we're dealing with an AI tool, right, we need to have strict checks in place to ensure there's no bias or discrimination based on the data that we feed it, right? There needs to be proper checks in place to ensure that there is absolutely no discrimination in the system that we are implementing. Now, so one of the questions, right, like based on the topics that I've covered, one of the questions that could be asked is, why is it that we at BC WebWise have invested so much time and effort in understanding this entire conversational AI solution, right? So as I mentioned before, we have been in this space for over 20 years, right? We've been in the digital space for over 20 years. And one of our core competencies is obviously web development. So the team here constantly strives to innovate, right? So with the wealth of experience that we have and understanding, certain trends in the market, for instance, the AI trend that has shot up in the last year, we are able to find these solutions to improve the user experience, right? So this is not only on the back end and the front end, but this also kind of plays into into CRO as well, which is conversion rate optimization. So this is why the team here at BC WebWise has worked hard, understood what conversational AI is, and was able to package this brilliantly into a conversational AI solution that we like to call Octopus. Right. So Octopus is basically BC WebWise's conversational AI tool that we are proud to launch. And I would like to show a quick launch video of Octopus.
In a world where communication and customer engagement are more important than ever.
Hi, I am Octopus, your intelligent companion in the digital realm. I am an AI-powered chatbot designed to revolutionize the way you connect with your customers. Experience the power of conversational AI, creating meaningful interactions and exceptional customer experiences.
Powered by advanced machine learning algorithms, Octopus learns and evolves in real time, delivering intelligent and personalized conversations. Whether you're in e-commerce, finance, travel, healthcare, or any other industry, Octopus is tailored to meet your specific needs. With Octopus, you can streamline customer support, boost sales, and provide unparalleled customer experiences across a variety of sectors.
Ready to unlock my power? Join the leaders in leveraging conversational AI to shape the future of customer engagement.
Right. So the key features of Octopus obviously covers everything that I have discussed earlier. So this includes your natural language processing, your personalized recommendations, your lingual support, 24/7 availability, so on and so forth, right? So I would like to call out three specific points that you would have seen in the video. Starting off with the pizza bot, right? So when a user comes and starts conversing with your pizza bot, immediately the bot is able to kind of tell you that, hey, we have 3 flavors of pizza, right? What would you be interested in? So that is one use case where it's able to take the products that we feed it and pitch it to the user in a way that is very conversational and not like, please click on what you want to buy, right? It's a very natural and open conversation that the tool is having with the user, and making the entire process of something as simple as ordering a pizza more enjoyable. The second would be in context, right? The second example that you would have seen in the video was when the user said, right, I'm a designer, I'm looking for so and so. The bot was able to recognize that the user is a designer and suggest products based on that person's requirements. So this is something that is key, and we're super excited that we were able to develop this, right? We're able to understand what that person, what's that person's background, and suggest things. So another great example would be, say while purchasing a laptop, right? So I am an avid gamer. So if I can just tell, any one of these stores, say a Dell or an HP, that, hey, I'm looking for a gaming laptop with so-and-so specifications. Whereas a business user who would like features, rather than a graphics card, a business user who would like to have, more battery life and something that is easily, can be carried around, that is something light with a large battery. If I'm just able to say, hey, I'm a gamer, I'm looking for a laptop within this range, or hey, I'm a business user, I'm looking for a laptop with this features, and it's able to recommend that to me, it becomes such a easy process, and reduces, the key point is it reduces the entire flow of the conversation to something that is more valuable to someone at the user's end. Right. And lastly, of course, if you caught the whole multilingual support piece, right? the person typed in English saying, can you speak in Hindi? And the bot was able to reply in Hindi, right? So it is not as simple as just Google Translate, right? It's not something that, you type in and it translates. We all know there is a limitation to the translation, but this is something that understands what the conversation is and reply to it in that local language. So that's something that's fantastic about our tool. And of course, apart from that, we do have integrations, API integrations and multi-platform compatibility, as well as voice recognition. So this is something that can be developed into our tools. And of course, the use cases, as I mentioned, it covers all use cases, and of course, a little bit more than what we had shown earlier. For instance, selling, upselling, and cross-selling. So as I mentioned, the great feature about our tool, it's able to integrate with your existing CRM and have context management. So what this means is the bot is able to, the conversational AI tool is able to understand, say, for instance, if I'm a past purchaser of a specific product and I'm coming back to the store, it's able to understand, okay, this user has bought this product this frequently, and it's able to maybe upsell me a pack of 2 or a pack of 4, for instance. This is just a simple example, but that's the power that this tool specifically holds, and this is how it can impact your business as well, right? Not only that, it can be used as HR assistant. So as I mentioned earlier, right, this tool can be used both for external purposes for your business as well as internally. So when I talk about HR assistants, it's something as simple as, say, booking a leave or probably checking your health insurance policy, right? If you are able to feed in the data into the system, it's able to read that data and give an output to the user based on the questions. So this tool has multiple capabilities, and it can be used for anything that you can possibly imagine. It is just based on what your needs are. We are able to develop this to converse better with either your employees or your business customers. Right. And moving to the seamless integration, as I mentioned, so we already have, compatibility to integrate with things like WhatsApp as well as Slack. Right. So these are tools that are already probably available in your business stack and in your tech stack. And this is something that we can readily, integrate into. And of course, with your existing CRMs and help desks. So given that this is primarily, a conversational tool, a chatbot is obviously going to be the first use case that you have. So we are able to kind of fit into the system and integrate quite easily without much of time and effort. It is, yes, it is as simple as these three easy steps. You purchase our product, then you sit with us and we understand exactly what your requirements are, and we're able to design this tool based on what your requirements are, right? And based on how complex the requirements are, within 10 days we can get this up and running, and of course we can take this live for you. So that was basically it. So in this first session, I wanted to go over just the basics and understand what exactly conversational AI is, just so that everybody has an understanding here of the groundwork of what this is. Our aim is to obviously have more of these webinars and converse better with you all, understanding your requirements and tweaking our presentations to help you understand better. But I hope that this was helpful in at least giving you the baseline of what this is and what its capabilities are and how it can really impact your business in an amazing way. So, right, I'll move on to the Q&A section. Before I get started, I would love to introduce a couple of my colleagues. So we have Ashna here, who heads strategy for us. And of course, our tech wizards, Manoj and Shailendra, who helped develop this product. So they'll help me in answering your questions. So yeah, please go ahead.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Mubin.
So we spoke about data privacy.
Yes.
Yeah. And when a brand signs up for Octopus, the brand's customers, both existing and potential, will have very deep conversations with Octopus, where they will part with their data. Most importantly, they will part with their intention, Say, for example, if it's a BFSI client, I'm looking for a home loan, I'm from this, I'm from that,
Right.
A lot of rich, unique and authentic primary data will be collected by Octopus.
Correct.
So what would be the privacy of this data? Because as far as I understand, but not technologically very advanced, technically, sorry, this data will be captured by BC Webers, right?
No, it won't be captured by BC Webers. I think Manoj and Shailendra can take this forward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mubin,
Hi Manoj.
Yeah, hi Mubin.
कैसे हैं आप?
बस बढ़िया. So what happens is there are two aspects to it. One is the conversation data, and one is about the personal data, that who is doing this conversation. Okay, so we are not capturing the personal data. Okay, we are capturing this as anonymous data. Okay, which gives you the broader aspect, like what people are looking out for. If at all, if you want to capture each and every individual data with a context, so there are various guidelines and data privacy policies on how we are storing that encrypted data and how we are retrieving that data. That is entirely a different infra which we have, and we follow that. We'll have to follow that.
Okay, so you're saying it will not capture personal data, only the chat data?
Yes.
What if I enter into the chat? Hi, my name is Mubin Farooqi. I'm looking for a personal loan of 10 lakhs. I stay in Mumbai. This is my mobile number. I have entered it with Octopus. Octopus will thank me. Hey, thanks, Shirley, and this. And so that data has been captured by Octopus. वो data में मेरा नाम, मोबाइल नंबर, मेरा 10 लाख पर्सनल लोन का इंटेंशन, मेरा शहर सब आ गया है. तो वो डेटा तो हम कैप्चर करेंगे ना?
नहीं, तो वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ. So if I identify that as a personal data,
okay,
the storage policy is different, and the storage policy of other data is different.
Okay. Thank you so much. And एक और सवाल है, और मुझे ये सवाल करना चाहिए कि क्या श्री ऑक्टोपस हिंदी में भी वार्तालाप करेंगे या अंग्रेजी तक सीमित रहेंगे?
Obviously, it will answer in most of the Indian language.
Awesome.
As well as international language.
Awesome.
Also.
एक और सवाल है, क्या है कि आजकल हिंदी का मतलब हो गया है इंग्लिश. सर्च क्वेरीज इंग्लिश में आ रही हैं. MUJHE मुझे, लोन CHAYE चाहिए. अगर मैं इंग्लिश में कॉन्वर्सेशन इनिशिएट करता हूं तो बॉट का क्या रिस्पॉन्स होगा? क्योंकि ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है. इंग्लिश डिफाइंड लैंग्वेज नहीं है, मगर ज्यादातर क्वेरीज इंग्लिश में आ रहे हैं. जैसे हम व्हाट्सएप पे चैट करते हैं, हिंदी इन इंग्लिश अल्फाबेट. तो इसका आप कुछ बताएं कैसे?
So again, ये सारा जो conversation होगा, it will become a training data. So if I have this data already pre-fed into my system, it will give you the respective
I know, and I'm aware of that, Manoj. I worked with a chatbot company, और ऑटोमेटिक उसकी इंस्टेंट लर्निंग होती है.
Yes.
ठीक है सर, यही थे मेरे सवाल. थैंक यू.
So to add to that, Mubin, जो current हमारा hi.
How are you?
I'm good, Mubin. जो current हमारा capabilities है, even spelling changes in your English entries are things that Octopus is capable of processing and responding to. अगर आप इंग्लिश में भी या फिर इंग्लिश में, क्योंकि कभी कभी चाहिए अलग अलग तरीके से स्पेल होता है.
Absolutely.
तो वो भी पिकअप करके प्रोसेस करने का करंट कैपेबिलिटी है.
तो
एंड ऑफ कोर्स देन इट कीप्स लर्निंग फ्रॉम देयर.
ऑसम. तो अगर इनपुट आता है MUJHE मुझे, लोन CHAYE चाहिए, इसको क्या बॉट इंटरप्रेट करेगा कि आई वांट अ लोन, और रिप्लाई किस में आएगा? मतलब क्या रिप्लाई भी इंग्लिश में आएगा? जी हाँ, मैं आपकी सहायता KARSAKTHOOM कर सकता हूँ.
हाँ जी.
Oh, awesome.
I have two questions. So first is, when we were talking about the entire, so considering, it's a conversational AI, right? And the entire algorithm is nowadays based on emotive engineering. So how is does it have the capability of deep learning? For example, to what extent I can go for personalization, all of that. So is that a possibility? And also when you mention about scalability, right? Scalability part also, if you can just elaborate that part in terms of, for considering, for example, if I have a small business or, my certain clients are a small business, what does scalability would mean for them with Octopus?
Yeah, hi, Shaishta. So there were a couple of questions. One was about personalization, and so the second one was about scalability, right? So
Yes.
personalization will refer to the context on or with reference to what the intent of that user is. Okay, so whether the user has come for buying a product, or whether user has come to know about a product. So accordingly, the content can be personalized and the content will flow. Second thing is about scalability.
My question is, when you talk about personalization, so what is the extent? Is it based on deep neural learning, or is it based on a certain prompt engineering which you have developed?
Okay, so first of all, the personalization algorithm, or as Aaron has said about suggestion, or we call it as recommendation engine. It's already working at the background, or the algorithm is on a machine learning platform. Okay, we have to specify, we have to train that algorithm to about the intent and what the user is looking for, right? So what happens is, so like I'll give an example of Netflix. Okay, so when you search for 5-6 movies, and it automatically recognizes that, okay, you're looking for you're interested in a thriller movie, or you're interested in a suspense movie. So the same thing happens when, based on the user behavior, or how the user try to go and select products. Okay, so on the basis of that, the algorithm will automatically start throwing out the suggestions and the recommendation.
Also, to add, Shasta, in terms of personalization, the current capability also can sense things like urgency. It can give out responses that are designed to calm somebody in case they are in a panic situation or in a worried state. So that amount of capability is there. We can also connect with a CMS that is loaded with, say, products or services that will sort of help integrate NLP a lot better as well. So all of these capabilities are there as of right now. Like the tool that we have can expand to all of these pieces.
Okay, that means it has the ability to adapt and scale.
Yes, absolutely. And to your scalability point, I know Manoj was gearing to respond to that as well. But in terms of the most critical part, right, which is the customer service typically is not available 24/7. Octopus is available at a 24/7 level. And it can multitask as well, right? So it has that adaptive learning capability, it has that deep learning capability. So you can multitask the tool, and it is available 24/7 to have a conversation with the customer. And yes, Manoj also would jump in with more.
Yeah, you're right, Ashna, what you've said. Again, it also, in terms of scalability, is like, if I'm using this the bot for customer service, and if I want to extend it to for some other service, that can be easily done. So that's also one aspect of it. Yeah.
The product scalability would be more important.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So we did get a question in the Google Forms as well. I'd like to address that. So Abhinav asked, how intelligent is this bot? As in, when we talk to WhatsApp bot, they take us to a customer care person. So will Octopus be able to give us full clarity, or will there be an option where we can speak to a customer support person as well? So as I mentioned, right, Octopus has the full capability to converse as well as resolve issues based on, of course, it is limited by the data that we provide, right? For instance, if we are not able to give it the complete spectrum of data that we wanted to converse with a specific user, it is limited by that. The whole capability of Octopus is, as even Ashna mentioned before, right? It should be there 24/7. It should reduce your operational costs by replacing a certain amount of human conversations and be able to provide those solutions. So yes, it is capable of doing that. Will you be able to speak to a customer care support person as well? Yes, there is a capability for that as well. Manoj, if you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so most of the current bot also work on the same principle. Like if the user is not satisfied with the answers what being provided by the chat, and then they want to physically talk to a customer service executive, obviously there's an option where he or she can be channeled to speak to that particular person.
Right. And what we can do, of course, the aim is for Octopus to handle, majority, like as I showed you in one of the case studies, right? 98% resolution rate. So because we're able to see where a user is dropping off or where a user is probably switching to a customer care person, we can build on that further, right? We can feed in those data points to help the system learn and be able to respond to that as well. So it is a continuously learning platform that can grow based on your business needs.
Okay.
Thanks for the question, Abhinav.
So, hello.
Yeah, Sonali, go ahead.
Hi. So, if I leave like a particular conversation somewhere, right? Like, if this is for like a Vijay Electronics, first say suppose talking and asking about the products and things like that, and then after a few days maybe I come back and then I ask about more products. So, can this chatbot give a reminder just when you start the conversation that hey, you inquired for these products, did you happen to purchase it? Something like that, which kind of gives like a reference to context, right? Like in that sense that you inquired about these, did you purchase them? If not, why don't you check out? There are some discounts going on this particular product that you spoke about, something like that, where yeah, that's what.
Yeah, Sonali, I understood your query. But again, so what happens normally when you start on a bot, you start as an anonymous user, right? So if I'm building a user journey where I'm asking some certain information, and if I want that journey, the system to remember that journey, okay, only then this will work. And most of the time, what we can do is we can build this journey, and when we build this journey, obviously it will, so we can identify user based on various parameters like the browser, from the last browser what he visited, from the cookies. We can just identify that user and we can just take that conversation from there, and again we can do all this thing what you asked for. So there are various techniques for doing this.
But does this usually happen? Like if I were a customer and I would say that I want this to be incorporated, right? Because it probably this adds to the whole context building also. So
yeah, so so again, as I said, so this will depend on the use case. So is it, so if my business requires that, we can easily incorporate that. But if I don't require that, we can just ignore that.
Okay, so basically, yeah, okay, it can be incorporated, right?
Yes. And also to add, Sonali, Octopus is not obviously going to be a tool that you deploy as a standalone tool. Right. So it would be part of your entire marketing stack. And as part of that, and you would have noticed brands like say an Amazon do this a lot, right? You are searching for something and then later say on a Facebook or an Instagram or even a WhatsApp in certain cases, you'd get a reminder saying, oh, hey, you were looking at this, have you purchased? Or there is a drop in prices or something like that.
Yeah.
So you get those reminders. And that is typically how something like an Octopus. So if you're searching, you can plug in your other MarTech, other parts of your MarTech stack. and have that multi-platform capability and actually deploy an omni-channel capability as well.
Yeah, because on Amazon, you always logged in. So it can easily identify the user and the behaviors.
Sure. Thanks.
Anyone else? Any other questions? And anyone who probably may have missed the beginning of the session, you can please ask, any specific thing. I'd love to kind of reiterate on what was spoken before. Any questions in the forms? Couple, if there's anything. Okay, great. Right. I think that was about it. I'd like to thank everybody for joining, and thank you for giving us your time. And I hope this was an informative session for you all. We would love to continue this entire series on conversational AI and get deeper and deeper into this topic, and even provide use cases for your specific business. So in case you have any queries, do reach out to us. We will share the information with you over email or over WhatsApp. You all can get in touch with us anytime. We'd love to help, and we'd love to, take you to the future of conversations, which we strongly believe is in conversational AI. We do believe that this is going to take over the tech world with storm, which is why we have kind of preempted this and developed this tool to help your businesses grow. So thank you so much, and I hope you'll have a great day.
We do have one question.
Oh, yes. Yes. Can Octopus gather comparative data from the web? As in, can it work as a Trivago, but in a much simpler way? Manoj, probably you'd want to take that up.
Yeah, it will, because the model which it's using, it's ChatGPT. So whatever data the ChatGPT model has as of now, it can respond based on that data which is available on the web. Does that answers your query? Yeah. Any more query?
Yes, Manoj. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Manish. Right. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for everyone who joined, and yeah, have a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.